Testing? Okay, I'm not muted. Oh my god, hi. This is fun. Sorry for making you guys wait. Do I have something here? Okay, Twitch is sending me awesome notifications because I think we're gonna try and do the collab using Twitch. Yes. Hi. Hi. Hello. Oh wow, Dude is here. Hi, Coffee. I don't know if you guys are still around. I made you wait a bit too much. But yeah, I am looking forward to this collab, and I don't want to spoil too much, but you're gonna be judging me by the end of the stream. So please be nice, is all I can say. Okay. Wait, you're in my chat? You could have messaged. Okay, yes. I'm actually just waiting. That's so cute. Yes. Huh? If you collab via Twitch, I think we'll see. Oh, that's very interesting. No worries. I have tried to dress as florally as possible. And I have a cat. So, if anything happens, I can blame the cat because cats are one of the reasons that our plants, like, because the plants are, oh wait, why am I talking about plants? I'm not supposed to be talking about plants. I won't be talking about plants. Yes, and actually, I'm glad that the internet is good. So that the only thing I haven't tested and I need to test is when we talk, I need to have their character talking, and if that doesn't happen, I'm gonna need to like just fix it on the way. I'm sorry about that. I should have prepared a bit earlier, so I'll do that. I think we start. Yes, it is intended to be very, very dark. Not a mistake. Nope. Yeah, just like a. Wait, what was the reason I wore this? There was a reason. There definitely was a reason. I might have forgotten. And no. I can talk about like I have flowers coming out of my my head, and then I put the gems. I don't know if they look flowery, the gems, but they're supposed to look flowery. And then, like I said, the cat as well. Hello. Wait, let me check if I have you. Do I have you? Can you talk again?
Hello?
No! Wait!
Oh no. Uh-oh.
Okay, we can hear you, but I didn't add you to be seen. I need to fix that.
That's okay. I'm just an invisible plant ghost. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
All right, so I'm gonna try and fix that. So give me
Do you want me to just send really quick? Do you need the Fuji Tech link?
Please,
I can send that over.
if that's possible, please, yes.
Oh, yes. Okay, so just as a starter thing, this is the website that has all of it set up.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
You can grab your links and stuff from there, but this one specifically is mine.
Yes. I think I had individuals before. That's why I'm not like all set up. All right. Testing something.
That looks like I'm drawing, and then there's this squishy little guy.
Oh my gosh, that's so cute. So I have you next to me right now.
Perfect. I think I'll stick to the squishy one. It's really fun.
Aw. And I don't know if I go back to chat only if I still have you. Yes, I still have you. And you're yeah. And the cat could scratch you. I won't let that happen. Sorry. Are you really allergic to cats?
I am.
I'm sorry.
They make me itchy.
Oh no.
I know.
It's okay. It's okay. So life sometimes has ups and downs, but we persevere. Yes.
Yes, we persevere. All right. Well, welcome so much to my hort cult. Hort cult is just short for horticulture. I tried to put it on a sweatshirt once, and it didn't fit across the front. The word was too long. So my mom and I just broke it up to be goofy. But...
and now it's even more fun to say.
Yeah, exactly. I have it on a sweater that I made in university, and so now I've just transferred it to being the name of my gardening talks.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Happy to be a part of it.
Before we get too far into things, did you want to say a bit about who you are, and then I can do an introduction for your community as well?
That would be lovely. Thank you. Hi. Hello to the Hort cult. I'm my name is sorry. I can wait, I don't think you can hear them. Only I can hear them.
Just followed.
Thank you for the follow.
CL welcomes you.
So my name is CL, or it's short for Code Life, and the main idea, like when I started this, was like, okay, I'm a coder and I'm gonna share about my life, but now it's mostly me streaming about learning about like machine learning and natural language processing, but I'm really bad at it. So if you join me, you will understand. Like you will just join like the struggle. I do have a bachelor's in computer science, and I did get my master's in software engineering, but don't trust me. I'm really bad. Like my certificates are
Coffee cat. Not coffee cat. Coffee cafe. Welcome.
Yeah. So yes, I mostly use streaming to make myself study. Otherwise, I will procrastinate. Yes, the end.
I think it's one of those things where, you know, when you're so far into a subject that you know all these people who are so good at it that you think you don't have those skills. But
okay.
when you stop and you think about like people who have never studied the topic before, you have so much more information that you can share. Just because you don't have like the top level of specified knowledge doesn't mean you aren't really well versed in your topic. I know so little about coding. It's really not my specialty. But as a, you know, vice versa, I often forget that there's these little tidbits about plants that I can just, you know, because it's something I've studied, and it's really not common knowledge. I had a friend of mine today, I'll do my intro in a second. A friend of mine today asked me, you know, like, well, so if I just throw a potato in the ground, like I just get more potatoes, right?
Huh.
You have an agricultural degree. Why don't you know this? And I'm like, oh, well, because she didn't go into horticulture. She went into rangeland management. So she didn't learn about vegetables.
Oh. So, yeah, no, know? Like sometimes I'm like, I don't, what do I make videos about? Everybody knows everything. Computers are in everybody's lives. So I don't, like, and then you realize,
my brain hurts!
You realize you are in like a bubble, your own bubble of like things that you know. And I will say thank you for Bach Addict. They're saying that they're also doing coding as their job. And thank you for the subscription. I will say, please, I make a lot of money. I work. I'm good. Yes. Sorry. So please do not do something you're not comfortable with. Thank you.
Bach is a sweetheart. Bach is a huge sweetheart. So we love Bach.
Yeah, same with coffee. They're so lovely.
Oh, yay. Glad to have them here too then. Okay, but yeah, I guess an intro for your community then. Hi guys, my name's Nep. I am a nepenthes, or a carnivorous pitcher plant VTuber. And that's because I am a real life horticulturalist. So I have my undergraduate in horticulture. So it's an it's a bachelor's of science in agriculture.
Wow.
I don't have a master's. But I do have about 8 years of experience in teaching gardening topics.
Way!
And yeah, I also just got hired, signing the paperwork still. I'm waiting on an email back from the office to get I've gotten a position at my local university doing outreach programming, like gardening outreach programming. So I'm very excited.
That's
but I come here
amazing.
to teach people about plants because I often forget how little people know about this stuff. For example, the difference between soil and dirt.
Oh yeah.
You know? So there's little things here and there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm passionate about it. I want to talk about it. And the people in my real life are getting a little sick about me just, yapping their ear off about grass. And
oh. Yeah, you're right.
So
sometimes
I need a new audience.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sometimes family, I forgot the English word for it. Sorry.
Sometimes they get annoyed.
No, they can tolerate. That's the word there. They tolerate you,
yeah.
But then you realize there is a community out there that actually wants to hear about it. So,
yep.
Yeah, I'm glad you found yours.
It's fun. Yeah, I'm glad you're getting your toes into streaming and enjoying it too.
Thank you.
I just hit my 3 years of streaming, so I've
Mashallah.
been around a little bit. Thank you.
That's lovely. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I want
Hello,
to.
Rita, welcome.
I want to ask when sort of why or how you got that first inspiration of okay, I want to stream, because it feels like you catch a bug and it's in your brain and you're I need to do this. I'm curious about that.
Let's see. Well, at the time, so this is a couple years ago, but at the time, my partner had introduced me to HoloLive and such, kind of around
COVID time, right?
Before COVID. So I knew of them, and then in COVID, we're at home and he's watching more of it, and I'm seeing more of it, and I realized what kind of we looked up a little bit of the software and stuff, and I played around with a free model, and I thought it was really cool, but I didn't know enough about it or have I guess enough of a drive to push myself to start. But about a year and a half afterwards, I did. I finally bit the bullet and I sat down and hello friend, welcome. About a year and a half later, I went, you know what? I'm just going to start, even though I do not have anything set up. I don't know what I'm doing. I just know now that I can get my voice connected to the stream and I can hit start. So I genuinely did not know what I was doing. I only, within this process of streaming, have learned the difference between a CPU and a GPU. This is what I mean when I say I don't know this. I don't know this.
You know what? We should prepare a list of questions to each other and try to create content around it. Because I really don't know what people don't know. And obviously there's a lot I don't know. So I'm okay, am I going too into detail, or is this too surface level and everybody knows about it? Yeah. I feel
I know what you mean.
Right?
I have the benefit of, because I've worked in garden education, that I do kind of understand what an intro level conversation with someone is, but I have 8 years of teaching this to new gardeners, so I've kind of gotten very good at the language I'm using. It's
Mm.
literally my specialty. It's my scope of practice. It's what I do is education and
Ah,
extension work as a horticulturist. So
okay.
I've got some some skills behind my name
True,
there.
true, true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Educator through and through, just not a classroom one. But we should we get started on your plants here?
Yes.
All right. So
Okay.
I didn't do a lot of, quotations here, diagnosing ahead of time, but I did go through, I've kind of pulled up the types of plants you have and we can talk about them. And then I can give you some like basics about what I'm seeing. We can chat a little bit about stuff. And hopefully at the end of this, you have an idea of what you want to do going forward.
Yes.
Also, thank you so much. Is Do Hoo Hoo from your channel?
Duhu is from my side, and they are an amazing streamer. Like someone I look up to, like, or just like yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So lucky to
Aw.
have them in our chat today.
I'm
And I'm
gonna
sure it's
grab a
very
follow
late
and
for
check
them.
them
So
out too.
yeah, I'm sure they are currently a sleepy dragon because Duhu is a dragon. Please
Oh,
don't
cool.
scorch
Yeah.
our plants.
Yes, please. Flame weeding is okay, but you gotta be careful with that one.
Ah,
I can
that's
talk about
true.
flame weeding another day. All right, but we can get started here. CL has kindly provided us with a PowerPoint to use, a set of slides. And so we have some lovely photos and depends on the dragon. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, we'll go through this. But starting off, on page 1 here, I see we have some Tradscantia and some stone crop or sedum, depending on what you want to call them. I don't know what any of these plants would be called in your region of the world because we're literally on opposite sides of the planet.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess I should say for the communities watching, I'm based in Canada, and
Oh,
you are based,
really?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you were
And
lucky you, honestly, in this current global situation. Yeah, congrats on the hockey thing. That was very recent.
yeah, it was. I did not watch it, but
Cool.
I heard,
Yeah.
and my room very excited.
Yeah, a bit of national pride, even if it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, exactly. Pardon my language, but suck it, Trump.
Yes, I saw the tweet.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the first thing I actually wanted to say, this is something I noticed when I was going through your photos, is that you have a handful of these plants in these cool little pots that have these not scalloped edges, but this pointed
Yeah.
shape to the, I don't know what you'd call that. I always forget. But
Like
the indentation,
starry
the shape of it,
shape, yeah.
yeah. It's actually really cool. There is a
you.
purpose to a
No
pot shape like
way.
that. Yep. So if you've ever had a plant that you've taken out of a pot and you've seen that the roots are growing in a big circle around the pot,
Okay.
like it's called being root bound. Like there's just too many roots
Oh, like it
in the pot. And what
becomes
happens is they start to circle because there's a flat surface they hit on the edge, and they just start to grow in a circle,
turn
or
around,
and they wrap
yeah.
around, and it can choke the plant if it gets too big. Obviously, when you're dealing with houseplants, it's really not as big of an issue, but you can buy specific types of pots and such for production that has a shape like this, a structure to the edge to promote the roots to grow down and not in a circle.
Oh, so this helps with that, to go down instead of turn around? Wow.
Yep.
I'm sure we bought these. I know I haven't bought them. My sister did, but like it's because it looks pretty. I don't think, or maybe it was recommended by the person who sells this stuff. But I do have like another question, which I don't know. I don't think you can tell, but these are also like the end, the bottom does come off. It has this feature as well.
Ah, yeah, the little tray on the bottom then. Usually for drainage, like if you pop them off, they're usually just there for like indoor use, and it's to catch the water that drains through. But if you pop them off the
Mm.
bottom and you have them outdoors, the water still just drains out. That's fine. It's
Mm.
more of an indoor water catch, so it doesn't make a mess.
Ah, okay. So,
Still, though, if you overwater, it will overfill and still drip everywhere.
okay. So, yeah, I can talk about the watering scheduling because I am currently responsible for it. But to talk about like which plant this pot is, it's actually the one in the third picture, the tall one. So that's the pot, but the purple one, which I really don't know the exact names, is coming from the pot next door because it's like stretching
Yes.
its arms. So
Yep.
yeah,
It creeps
yeah, and you can
along.
see that some of the leaves, there are like a bit of yellow around the leaves. Is it
Mhm.
because it's winter and they're outside? Because this is
So
technically outside, but under a shade.
I do have to say, it definitely gives me a chuckle that you're saying that this is winter because they're outdoors and they're green, and it quite literally was minus 40 2 days ago here.
Oh my god. Wow.
And I guess if anyone's curious, that is the same temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit. It's where they cross over and they have the
Oh,
same temperature.
lucky
So it doesn't
you.
matter which one I use. It's the same. Oh, it was so gross. It was so cold.
Oh.
But yeah, so the yellowing has nothing to do with the temperature. That usually comes from a nutrition deficiency. And so most likely what it is because looking at the plant and looking more
The soil?
at new growth. No,
Oh.
not even the
Oh.
soil. When you look at the plant and you see the leaves that are younger, they usually have no yellowing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
The yellowing is concentrated towards the bottom of the plant.
that's true.
Yep. And that's because of the type of not molecule. It's nitrogen. Nitrogen
Oh. In the
when
soil?
in the plant. Nitrogen can be moved. Once it's been deposited somewhere in the plant, it can still
Oh.
be taken back and moved to a new section. So
Oh.
not all things can do that.
They're feeding
Phosphorus,
the
for
young and not the
example,
old, right?
we're taking the nutrition out of the old leaves, the ones
Oh.
towards the base, the stuff that is going to die back first, and they're pushing it into the new growth. And it
Wow.
means that in the soil, there is now a nitrogen deficiency.
Deficiency, right. This is
Not enough
something.
to kill the plant,
Mm,
but it is showing signs that it is running out of this.
right. I noticed this with a plant at our office. It's like a very famous type of plant. I should know the English name, but it's not at the top of my head. I see the new growth like being very healthy, and the other leaves are just dropping. And I was like,
Yep.
why? So now I get it.
And the nitrogen fixing is something that you see from legumes, which is actually cool. There are some there. Well, no, because I don't think oxalis is a legume. Anyways, legumes don't actually produce enough nitrogen in the soil to give it off to other plants for the most part. It's not a sustainable way of creating nitrogen in the soil, but it definitely helps the plant that does that increase their nitrogen uptake. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of nitrogen fixation in plants. It's a bit of a long topic, so we won't go into it today because your plants are not beans, so they don't do that. But in the soil, there can be different types of nitrogen, and it just refers to the type of chemical structure that it's in. Some of them are bioavailable, some of them are not. And it just depends on what the nitrogen is attached to, because some things the nitrogen can go through a chemical process where the plant can take it up and be used, and some things the plant just can't interact with even though it does have nitrogen in it. So
Okay.
anyways,
yeah,
that comes down to chemistry. I don't think this is a chemistry lesson.
Could be, but it's not for now.
Not today.
Okay.
Another day. I've not done a full in-depth talk on plant nutrition before. We can come back to that another day as a full discussion.
Okay.
I've talked a little bit about it, but not fully.
Right. So I'll let you take a sip of your tea or water while I ask another question, which is, I suppose the diagnosis, I'm guessing she is a happy plant for now, but she would be more happy if we updated her soil, right? Because I know you can see like in the middle picture, which by the way I tried to take the picture style is like first one is a zoom in on the plant, second one is a zoom in on the soil, third one is like the whole plant. That's my idea of the picture taking.
I love it.
Thank you.
So happy with that. The number of times people are like, "What's wrong with my plant?" And they show me a picture of a leaf. I'm like, I can't tell you. It's like asking a doctor and only showing them your pinky.
Yes. And I did some blurring of the backgrounds just to not share too much. But I think I did an okay job. So sometimes some of the plants became blurry. Yeah, thank you. So the soil, I think we have not updated it maybe for like 2 years. We did do a mix of like mixing of normal dirt, actual dirt, and then the thing that you buy, the food thingy that looks a bit darker because normal soil is like light gray. Light brown. The thing that's on the ground here. So yeah. My family is like really good at taking care of plants, but those plants are like very close to currently where I'm sitting, but outside. So I see them the most because it's like near to my room. So I try to take care of them. But we have like different compost, probably compost. Thank you, coffee. Or potting mix, like you said. Yeah, we have like a lot more greenery in our house, like trees. But today it's about potted plants. We can go into trees next time.
Yeah, so we'll just go on the plants that you've shared today, because we can always have another one of these where we sit and chat about what you've got. But yeah, so I guess going on the first plant in question here. So this is called a stone crop or a sedum. I've gone and pulled up like just a basic Google search on these things. So that first plant in that blue star shape, this is a stone crop. It is a type of sedum. It's a perennial, so it comes back annually every year. You'll see it again. It doesn't die off after it's gone to seed. It has these nice little almost succulent-like leaves, but they're not quite a succulent. They're a little different. They have really neat little flowers that grow off the top, and you can see those in some of your images. Not on this plant, but on some of the other ones I saw.
Yes, we have, I think, multiple of these.
Yeah, so it's a type of plant called a stone crop or sedum. And they look pretty happy in your pictures. So aside from maybe needing a fresh transplant, so like taking it out of that pot, I don't know if they necessarily need a bigger one, but definitely just getting it back in there with some fresh soil is really good. I would continue to do your mix of potting media and dirt soil from just because it seems to be providing enough to your plants that you have there. Basically what it is after time passes, the amount of organic matter in that soil has broken down and it has been taken up by the plants. And so you do just have to replace that after a while.
Fair.
And so 2 years sounds about right.
Yeah.
For roughly how long it is before you want to consider repotting a plant. So that all makes sense to me.
Awesome.
The other thing you can do is you can always just kind of like go through them, and if you see chunks of the plant that just aren't healthy, you can cut them back, and the plant will no longer have to spare nutrition for it. It'll just put it into the other parts of the plant that are still there. So sometimes cutting it back that way can assist. I don't think your plants are dying. It's okay. They just maybe need some nutrition added back in.
Okay. Yeah, I also the part about cutting leaves, like even different types of plants. I don't know, like sometimes you see those very flashy videos or like, don't cut plants, that's like horrible. So I don't know, like cutting off the older leaves. So it's generally okay.
Typically, the rule of thumb is never take more than a third of the plant at a time. So if you're cutting stuff back, limit it to at most taking 1/3 of the plant off.
Wow, that's the
That way,
Mm.
you know you're not overdoing it. The plant is still able to keep going. If you take more than that, the plant can really struggle because you now have an imbalance between the amount growing above the soil and the amount underneath the soil.
Okay.
The roots and the top do still need to kind of balance. If you have too much root, that's a lot of water that's being taken up and has nowhere to go.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That
It
is
can
really
stress the plant
useful.
out. Right? I know. I
Yeah.
love that bit.
Thank
Learning
you.
that was very helpful for me as someone who people's yards and does prune back trees and
Mm.
shrubs and,
Mm.
and everything.
Yeah. I will be oversharing the fact that sometimes I think my dad over prunes.
Yeah, a lot of people probably do because it's easy. It's like a haircut. It's easy to take too much. So you got to go slow. You can never reattach it, but you can always take more off.
True.
It's also an art. I fully truly believe that pruning is an art. And in order to do good pruning, you kind of need to understand plant physiology. Because
Wow.
depending on how you cut things, where you take a cut off determines how the plant continues to grow. So if you're looking for specific outcomes, you want to cut in specific ways. Again, a little more detail than you need for these plants. That's more like trees and shrubs. But yeah.
Still very useful. Okay. Should I jump to the next one?
Yeah, we can go to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next one is, I feel bad for her.
You know what this is? This is a plant that creeps along the ground. And so where it first attaches to the soil is not where it's going to look the greenest and freshest all its life.
Right.
Because as it grows, that long trailing piece that it started from is going to lose its leaves as it continues to grow.
Oh, okay. Because it used to be more purpley, but now it's like more at the start of the
tip.
So
not unusual.
Should we hang it? Not
yeah,
kill
you
it.
could hang it and yeah. So this is one. I actually have quite a few of these plants. This is called a Tradescantia or spider wart. It's got a heck of a name. Sometimes it's also called, I believe, an inch plant. Yeah, inch plant. Because it does just kind of slowly creep. Sometimes people put them on the ground and let them crawl across the ground.
Right.
And sometimes people will hang them to let them hang like vines. Traditionally, it is a creeping plant. Vines are usually things that will climb up, and a creeper is something that doesn't climb but prefers to just move horizontally. They work well as a hanging plant because they just hang. Whereas a vine doesn't like to hang, they like to climb, so they'll still try to go up.
Okay, so this is a creeper, not a climber.
Not a vine. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what that guy's doing as they go.
Koi
if
Care
they're not
just
putting up
followed.
new shoots, the base is just going to end up looking pretty bare after a while. Because that's just what happens at the soil surface where they first start growing from. What you could do is you could always trim stuff back. You could propagate this guy. These ones are pretty easy to propagate. So you could always start some new ones. And then once they've taken off, you could repot that pot with the new ones and just have it start over again.
Yes.
But from what I can see from all the growth, all of the fresh growth looks really happy.
Yay.
My recommendation for this guy would be to take those cuttings, grow a couple new shoots, and repot it if you want in time, and then it'll have that fresh soil. It'll do its thing again. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Koi Kaira, for the follow. And to go back to the plant, I can gift it because one of my friends gifted me a plant that they bought. I was like, why would you buy plants? Like just it's like,
well, I mean, I get it.
It's like buying a pet. Why would you buy a pet? Just adopt one. Same with plants. They're very easily grown. I think because I have people who take care of it, which is my siblings or parents.
Yeah.
So that's why I think they are easy enough, but I have killed my share of plants. I am sorry about that. I am a murderer.
Same.
So
I think it's one of those things where, like, in
yeah.
obviously I don't know, but in code where you build something and then it just doesn't work right,
Oh, right.
and you did your best, but it is not coming out right.
Not meant to be.
Sometimes you just have really bad luck with something you're trying to grow, and just because it failed the first time doesn't mean you can't do it. Maybe conditions were just not right. It took me a long time to get the hang of taking care of different kinds of plants because they all require different things. And so keeping a variety of different things was challenging because you try and give everything the same care, but it didn't want that. It
Oh.
takes some practice. These guys largely like the same kind of care, so you're pretty good there.
Yeah. I think that's lucky for us because we do give them the same treatment.
Yeah, you've got lots of stuff that likes sun. It likes, well, maybe not full direct sun. Stone
They're
crop
in
can
the shade
handle it.
though. Like
The Tradscantia, yeah, the
yeah.
Tradscantia definitely likes some shade. It likes some coverage, some spotted, little bit of dappled sunlight, but they do well as a house plant for that reason. Yeah,
Okay.
but
All right. So the solution for this is not to add columns for it to go up because it doesn't prefer that.
no,
We can.
you can, but you'd
Yeah.
have to do the work to keep it up. It will continue to grow off the side and down.
Right.
I've done this. I have one that hangs in my kitchen, and I actually just take those hanging branches, once they have reached a certain length,
Overgrow.
I kind of
Yeah.
put them back up and kind of loop them back up
Oh,
around
really?
this. Well, it's a hanging plant, so I wrap it around the thing that it's hanging from. And sometimes I just trim back shoots that just don't fit right, or they're too how would I describe it? Sometimes things are like shaded out because maybe they're growing around the back of the pot and they miss sunlight, or whatever. I'll like trim off bits that look like that because I'd rather the plant push its nutrition and life in healthier branches.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's lovely.
The other thing you could do is, because there is so much bare soil surface on this pot, is you could always just pick those little vines up and sit them back on
Replant?
the surface,
Yeah.
because they'll root. They'll grow roots
Oh,
back into the
without needing
soil.
to cut them, right? Just put them on the
Yep.
soil. Ah.
Yeah, you can just sit them back on the soil surface. Sometimes I'll do that if it's bare. You can see that one of them in that middle picture has followed the inside curve of the pot.
Right.
Right around the edge.
Yeah.
I bet you if you were to go and look at it, you'd see some roots growing right where it's touching the soil.
Oh, and I'm curious if it's actually rooted in that previous pot, because they went there as well.
Yeah, and so that's what they do is they creep. They'll creep, they'll find access to soil, they'll put more roots down, and they'll just kind of keep going that way. And that's how they can get so large and being so far from the base that you initially put them in and still be thriving, is because sometimes they've just found another source, right? They've put their feet down and
they're like my pot.
I have a plant doing that in my living room. It has decided to grow up into the pot next to it. And I only just realized this recently, and I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know. I'm gonna disconnect you two, but that's all right.
Yeah, like I feel bad putting them apart because they've created a family.
Yeah, right. They're their own little what do you call it, community now.
Yeah, and we waited too long to like do some repotting and stuff, so now it feels like a jungle here.
Sometimes it's kind of cute like that, though. But yeah, if you have them rooted into another pot, you can also just cut them and leave the ones in the new pot.
Okay.
If they have rooted in, they've got their nutrition, they've got a home. You can disconnect them from the mother plant. So if you do need to separate them, that is something you can do. However, just know that when you do that, you will inevitably have a little bit of dieback. It's pretty normal for plants to do that. It doesn't mean the whole plant is dead, though. Okay. Shall we go to the next guy?
Yes. I think my model stopped moving. I don't think it's a problem, but something happened. I saw an error message and my model is just smiling without moving. And yeah.
Do you want to take a moment to work on that? I have tea to sip.
Oh, I was like, huh? I could test something like in 2 seconds. If it comes back to life. If it doesn't, I'm happy with how it looks. It doesn't look weird.
Okay, yeah, whatever works for you.
So-
yeah, let me know.
Yeah.
I'll just take a sip of my tea here.
Thank you. I'm really appreciating that. Okay, yes.
Playing stopped functioning.
Okay.
Yep, everything ready to go.
So you've seen everything basically.
Man,
I'm back and I'm alive right now.
Oh, yes, excellent.
Woo! That was a bit scary,
So
but I think we did it. Yes.
I'm looking at that next page that you have with this another blue pot with more of the inch plant, the spiderwort, and it's got all of these little shoots growing off the side here, and I think.
So do you see the first picture from the left? This baby thing? Is that a spider plant? Because when, like, this plant is one of the plants that I know when the pots are thirsty, because it just becomes like very sad. And when I water it, it becomes awake and it's
Yeah, no, it's not a spider plant. It's the same thing, it's that inch plant. But it's I'm wondering if these little narrower little red shoots aren't something else.
Yes, they should be.
Definitely are.
All of the plants that you, like the leaves that you see in the background, are supposed to be from the previous pot.
Okay, so they're from the previous pot. So this guy, does it look a little bit like clover?
I suppose. It looks flowery.
Like
I guess because right now all of the stems are bare, but they didn't used to be like that. I don't know, like maybe 2-3 weeks ago. It was all those tiny little leaves.
This guy, I would assume, having dropped all of its leaves, it probably got really thirsty. Some plants are way more susceptible to drying out than others because they don't have the same kind of like mechanisms inside the plant. Some stuff is used to a dry climate and they have measures to keep themselves like to retain water, like a cactus, right?
Right.
So some things just don't do as well in it, and if it got too dry, that's likely what happened, because I can see like lots of these pieces that are brown and crispy around the edge too. I would just say keep an eye on him, maybe keep him in a more shaded spot, and see if you can get that little bit of a regrowth there. The other thing is it's possibly competing with the plant thrown into the pot,
right?
Because that thing looks pretty vigorous, so it's quite possibly out competing it.
We have a thief
for space and nutrition.
Okay, so the way we schedule the watering, I think currently it's once a week because it's winter and We have been getting rain. I'm happy about that. We had rain during the weekend. And yeah, so I guess that one may need like I could test twice a week just to see if it becomes more happy.
Yeah, it's also possible that it just again, I'm trying to see what it is exactly. It's just hard without the leaves. I feel like I recognize it, but I don't know exactly.
Only the
which
first image
one.
has enough information. The other two don't.
Yeah, that's okay.
Mm.
If you're able to get more clear photos of just that one and the leaves, I
Mm.
can talk about it with just you after stream
I'd
sometime.
appreciate that. Yeah.
Because it's probably just more delicate than the others. Some plants are just a little bit more fussy than others. Again, I feel like I recognize it. It looks very familiar to me. So
Okay,
probably
let's just
the one
try.
without leaves. But yeah, give him
Okay.
some more love. He's not dead. The fact that those branches are all still red says lots. That
Okay.
color would definitely fade. It would turn more brown and crispy if it was actually dead. So yeah, just continue to give it some water.
Will do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right.
We'll get back to this one some other time. We can go to the next slide then.
Coffee asked a question. In the other pot, the soil looked a bit high clay. Could that be an issue with water uptake? So in this guy,
Previous?
I'm trying to see if that's what it would be. Let me zoom in. Nope. Okay, so to me, it almost looks more sandy than clay. It's hard to tell. So the soil that's in there, when you add water to it, does the water sit on the surface for a really long time? Or does it immediately drain, like, into the soil and, like or yeah, does it sit on the surface and take forever to drain like, soak in, or does it move in quickly?
Good question, because I don't monitor like each one, but I can tell like when I'm watering each plant and then I go back, I'm like, some of them have the water, but some of them are like you feel like they're thirsty because the water is all absorbed. I don't know.
Yeah, so typically that has more to do with the soil itself. Water can only be taken up by a plant so fast. The type of soil that the water is in will kind of determine how quickly it soaks in and moves through it. I would say that it definitely looks like it's been a bit compacted. I assume when you guys potted it, the soil was probably right at the top of the pot, and over time it sunk in because it does get squished and compacts down. But I'm not really too concerned by that.
Yeah.
But yes, in the grand scheme of things, heavy clay soil, much harder to get water infiltration. So that is a thing. The other thing with high clay is if it dries out, it's way, way harder to add water back in. Because it is not like a sponge.
Right. Okay. So it's
So, like,
not
when you fit a sponge in a dish of water, the sponge will just soak it all up before your eyes. You can see it happen.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be
But
just
if
like
you
draining to
like
the top, the bottom?
Depends. Some things will literally soak it up like a sponge. Some stuff it runs right through, and some stuff it won't let the water seep in. It'll just push, like, the water will end up moving around it. Water and soil is a whole conversation itself. On a small scale like this, I don't think it's that big of a deal. It's probably something that it's easily corrected if you just repot and you get more of that organic stuff mixed back in. So either compost, potting mix, or something like that. They all have that organic component. Potting mix is nice because it has a variety of different nutritional but it's not super concentrated. Sometimes if you were to add something like just pure compost, if it hasn't been broken down properly or long enough, or maybe it's just too strong in terms of nutrition, it can cause problems for, like, you don't want to grow plants directly in compost. You'd want to mix it with something else.
Right.
Yeah, because compost is kind of like
Too
kind of
strong?
like fertilizer. You don't want to grow stuff directly out of it. You just want to have it mixed in with your soil. Hi,
Right.
Fi. It's Fi, the
Oh,
neutrophil.
wow.
Wow.
Hello, hello.
How are you? Oh, look at that. It's also Mylin. It's the gang.
Aw, Vtubing gang. Hello, hello. I love seeing
Platform raid. That's so cute.
I love seeing Fi's tweets with the lab.
Yes.
Day this number of asking.
Yeah. Yeah, welcome YouTube friends. Sigma needs to give me my chocolate. They do. I can't believe they're holding out on you. But yeah, you guys, I have Ciel with me here today. So make sure you also pop over to her side of this collab and give her some love. We're talking about her plants today.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wrote listen and don't judge, and till now I'm not feeling judged.
Yeah, of course not. Your plants are pretty dang healthy. Oh, hello there. Welcome. I'm saying.
And I won't say it, but my face is frozen again, and I'm not gonna fix it this time.
Okay, no worries. But yeah, welcome, guys. I hope you're having a good time. Yeah. So this third picture, set of pictures, fourth.
Okay, next slide.
First one in the white pot.
It's the same one as the last one, but healthier, right?
Bigger, I guess.
Oh, okay, bigger.
I assume it's been has it been potted more?
Hello? Did I lose your
Hi.
voice? Oh, okay. Ask the question again, sorry.
Is this one potted at the same time, or is it newer? Do you know about this guy?
I don't really know.
All right, no worries. So for the most part, it's looking really healthy. The soil surface also looks like it hasn't gotten too compacted or anything. Like, this guy looks good. I don't think I really have anything to say about him aside from, I don't know, maybe give him some fertilizer at some point. If you want to go like the fertilizer route, I would use something that you can dilute into water and just give it a water with that. I don't think you need to use anything too intense. Like, I don't know what kinds of fertilizer options exist in your region of the world, like what kinds of things get sold commonly. Every country has its own rules on which things are and aren't available commercially and in home garden kind of contexts. So it would depend on that. But you could definitely give him some fertilizer, especially if you're gonna kind of give everything a little bit of it. I would just use a very standard all plant fertilizer. You'll notice when you do look at them, though, fertilizers will have a set of numbers across the front of a package.
Okay.
And you're going to want to look for one that's about equal between all three numbers.
Right. Okay. I think someone just said that your VTuber model is really like cool. So that's true.
Oh,
it's extremely cool. And yeah, I guess one of my points was about this was the soil that looks like around the actual plant it's gone down, but the sides of the pot is up. Is that okay? Is there any problem with that?
No, once again, that kind of comes down to watering and the type of soil it is. So most likely what happens is when the plant was initially potted, the soil was probably not compacted the same the whole way through the pot. And so once that water started soaking in and causing compaction, the center went down. So you
Mm.
probably did a good job of pushing the soil in around the edges, but the center was still left pretty soft.
Oh,
And so once
okay.
it got planted in, it kind of the air pockets pushed down, especially as water went through and connected everything. It's not really a bad thing necessarily. You see it pretty often. But again, just if you want to repot it, you can. The only thing that could be an issue is that it might cause water to pool up and then cause rot around the base of the plant. But if you're not seeing the water sit there in a little pool for long periods of time, like if it is just draining in, it should be fine.
Okay. That's good to
And I
know.
assume it's okay because looking at it and down around the base and everything, things look healthy. There's new growth. I don't think that's a problem for it. And who knows? Maybe it's also even benefiting the plant by being somewhere a little more, um, a little less exposed to the surface of the pot, and maybe it retains even more moisture for you. Hard to say. Again, I'm not
Mm.
familiar with your
They
climate.
they do that with
It's cold
trees.
here.
That's true.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. You make like a little donut around it, and
Mm.
it creates a little space that water can pool in. Yes, I got a question here. Is too compact of soil bad? Yes. If you think about soil compaction as in places where people walk routinely, you'll notice that things don't grow there, right? When you get
Okay.
people walking across the
Yeah,
corner of
yeah, yeah,
a lawn
definitely.
or something,
Yeah.
get that straight line of dead, and it's just because the soil is getting um, it's pushed in a way that like it's difficult for plant roots to kind of establish in there. It's not impossible, but yeah, compaction does cause a lot of issues for it. Another reason compaction is bad is because it reduces airspace in the soil, and
Mm.
roots still need to breathe.
Oh yeah. Okay. Mm.
So
Yep.
when
That's
you
why
lose
you
those pockets of airspace,
you
it can be a
you
problem.
you turn the soil sometimes in the garden, especially around tree stuff. We do that
Yeah,
sometimes. I think it's once a year or
yeah,
something. Mm.
yeah. You don't always want to do that, especially if you're not planning on covering up. Like it's. Are you familiar with the Dust Bowl from like the American Great Depression?
Ye- I've heard, I've read about something where you plant too many times and it just stops uh, allowing. Is that or is it a different thing?
Kind of. So it's a concept that came about in North America from like bad soil management practices in farming.
Exactly, right?
And so what
Mm.
happened, um, people would
Not letting it rest.
cut the plant. Well,
Mm.
kind of. That's similar, but not quite the same. It's when the soil has nothing in it to hold it together. And
Ah.
because there's no additional input of organic material, like when plants die, they die in place. And then all of that um, plant material, as it
Mm-hmm.
breaks down where it is. But when you remove
Mm.
it from a field and you don't let it break down in place, you're removing
Right.
all of that nutrition that would have been put back into place. And as
Yeah.
you lose that, you lose the kinds of aspects of the soil that make it stable and healthy. So when you keep
Uh-huh.
all those roots and things in there, even in the winter, it
Mm.
gives the soil structure. So as
Wow.
people farm, remove everything from the top and then practice something called tilling or tillage, where they did go through and turn the soil,
Mm.
there would be nothing left to hold the soil together.
Mm. Wow.
So it's exposed to the surface. There's nothing to hold it, and it's losing that spongy aspect that would come from the plants breaking down that holds water and retains water. Soil itself is 5 different components together. So you have inorganic materials, you have organic materials, water, air, and microorganisms. And all of that together is soil. So if you remove the organic material, you end up losing the benefits of other portions. Like you end up losing the um, what do you call it? The microorganism in there
Mm.
because there's no longer
Mm.
nutrition available, and all of that stuff disappears. You lose the air, you lose water retention. You end up with just
Right.
minerals, and yeah, so
Everything worked out perfectly for the wrong reasons.
yeah. So
Wow.
compact soil, not the best. You wanna not do that all the time.
Cool.
Anyways,
Good to
we can
know.
keep going.
All
This
right.
plant looks pretty healthy in my perspective, like from my point of view. I'm not really worried about it. If you're gonna repot other stuff, maybe repot him as well for the sake of it. Give him some fresh soil. He'll be even happier.
Probably like it's gotten too big for the pot. That's a possibility. Some people are saying in the chat as well.
Yeah, quite possible. From what I can see, it looks pretty happy, so I wouldn't worry too much.
And it looks like a tree somehow.
Yeah, well, as they get bigger, they can form little bits of bark and such.
That's cute. Okay.
Yeah.
Next plant, and I have about 5 minutes of stream time. I'm sorry, I should have said that sooner.
Okay, what do we have here? Okay, so this one's really easy to talk about. So this, you have two different things growing here. On the far left, we see something called pothos. So pothos is a really common vine.
Maybe?
No, it's the one with the big white and green colored leaves.
Oh,
there.
sorry. Right. Yeah. Of course. It's like a very loved type of plant.
Yep, pretty common as a houseplant. I have the exact same one in my living room.
Woo-woo.
If I could put it outside, I would, but it doesn't like my outdoors. My outdoors is too much for it. He looks happy. I'm not concerned about them at all. They're some of like the hardiest little plants. Like they can take a beating and survive.
I love them so much. We have like, I think 3 or 4 different pots, some of them in water only, some of them in soil in my office. And anyone who comes to the office, I'm not the only one in the office. We are a few people. They're like, oh my God, this is so lovely. It looks like the Amazon forest. It just makes people happy.
Cutting in a Coke can, like they just filled a Coke can with water and they just left it on a shelf in their office. It gets barely any real sunlight. It's basically just fluorescent lighting. It's in water, in a freaking can, and it's fine. Like this is one of those plants you don't really need to worry about it. Just give it water.
Yeah. It's like
the other thing growing in the pot is called oxalis.
Okay. And that's the weed thingy, right?
Yeah, so it's not clover. It's similar. It looks very similar, but it's called oxalis. And so it's not a nitrogen fixing plant. Some people will think because it's clover, it's a legume, it has that property. This guy does not. You can tell it apart from clover because it has these heart-shaped leaves. Clover does not have a heart-shaped leaf. Oxalis does.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. So in my brain, clover should, but I guess it doesn't. Whoa, I just Googled oxalis and it is so pretty.
Oxalis is gorgeous. And it's very easy for it to multiply. Sometimes it can be invasive. It often just shows up places because it does end up everywhere. But it's not really gonna kill your plants or anything, but it might establish in your pots. If you don't like it, you can pull it. You can also leave it. Because they're in pots, having the dead stay in its spot, it's not going to break down the way compost would or like in a garden setting. So you can pull that if you want.
Yeah, there are a lot of dead ones. Yeah.
Yeah, they're one of those things that grows and dies back and grows and dies back pretty quickly. So it's pretty normal to see that where they're growing.
Okay. I think we have a few cases of those growing. It's just interesting to see like when you use the soil, you don't know what's in it. So it's probably like one of those cases.
Yeah. They spread by roots. They grow these little, the way that they grow in the soil and at the base of the plant is when they do kind of break apart, those pieces that are left will still propagate into new plants. So it's very easy for it to be moved around, especially like you said, if you grabbed soil from another place and put it there, it probably just came with it.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Pull it, leave it. It's up to you. It's not going to cause harm. Anything. It's good to have on that soil surface because it prevents the sun from drying the soil. Anytime you have cover over the soil will be happier.
Okay.
Yes, coffee. That's exactly it. It's acting as a mulch. So mulch is anything that you put on the soil surface to keep it from evaporating. So it
Hmm.
helps keep the soil cooler, reduces water loss, helps with soil structure. It can be really good.
Awesome.
So I'm not worried about any of that. This plant looks.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you. I'm trying to find the Arabic word for this plant to teach you, and we're using a word. I don't know if it's the Arabic word or not. So, yeah, I'm gonna find it in a second, and then before we go, we'll look at our lovely succulent plant, and then I'll
So you
run
have
away.
some cacti here. So the cacti, they look fine. I don't have anything to really add to them. They're looking good.
Happy.
Keep treating them the way you're treating them. Yeah, they look just fine.
They're sort of hidden in the spot, and when I water the plants, I do a quick like a rainy thing on them, without needing to let the water pool around it.
Yes.
And we've had them for so long, and they're doing so well, and they're growing. I think you because you're not using presentation mode, you're seeing one picture, but if it's presentation mode, I added 2 more. You can see the growth of like it's growing on top of each other. I've heard that you should plant that top part back.
You can, but it's more of just a way of growing new plants than something you have to do for plant health. It's just a propagation method. It's not something that's required. I have not personally propagated cacti, so I cannot really give you advice on that.
Okay, I'll give you the advice when I plant it.
Yeah, if whenever you get to it and you want, like I can sit down and we can look it up together and I can go through it. But off the top of my head, I have nothing for you right now.
Okay, all right. So before I run away, I will share this as a chat in the stream. So it does say Betus, which is like pathos, because there's no P in Arabic, but you can see the second word. I mean, you can't, I don't know if you can read it. It's called Lablab, which is the common name for the previous plant, not this one.
This guy?
For the pathos. No, sorry, not yours. My slide, not your slide. But yeah, so pathos is called Lablab in common, I think, Arabic. So you can do that. I mean, you can. It just looks. It sounds lovely on the mouth. Lablab.
It does.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I could read Arabic. The script is so pretty.
Thank you. When I googled lab, nothing came up in English. That's why I sent the Arabic one. So it sounds.
That's fair.
Yeah. So thank you so much for giving me this therapy session for our plants.
Of course, I love doing these ones where people send like their plants and we just talk about them, because then you have a way to talk about the topic, right? I'm not just telling you about stuff. You're like, oh, well, this is my plant. Here's
and it's
what we do with
personal.
it.
Like it's useful information for as a person. So if you feel like going over the rest of the plant, I will watch the VOD. But I really need to go. Thank you so much for being so lovely and I forgot. What is it called?
Accommodating.
Thank you. It went halfway.
We'll have to figure out a better time that we, because this is confusing.
It's actually fine if it wasn't a work day for me. Like Sunday is a work day. So if it was your Friday, my Saturday, it would be perfect. Inshallah.
Okay. Well,
sometime in the future.
Another.
Yes, I will do better thinking and scheduling next time, because I was just excited to join you. My brain stopped working. Oh my God, Z is in the chat.
Yeah, we're gonna. It is an epic collab. We are about to wrap up though, because CL has to get to work.
But you can continue if you feel like it, if you have energy left. So
yeah, I can keep talking.
Yes, when I get to work, I'll tell my supervisor that I was late because I was streaming. I'm kidding. I'm not late.
It's science. You were talking science.
Yeah, I always go to work half an hour early, so today it can be on time.
Perfect.
Thank
Alright.
you.
Well, then I think what I'll do is I'll just hit a break and let you wrap up your stream and head out, and then once you're all done, I'll come back and chat with the rest of
Awesome.
my group, and thank you so much for joining
Thank
me!
you.
I'm glad we
Okay.
could do this.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bye
Okay.
bye. Bye on my side.
Bye!
Okay. I guess I won't be doing a lot of wrapping up, just that I need to run. And thank you so, so much for all the lovely people joining me. I might turn into a pumpkin. That's cute. Thank you, Coffee, and thank you, Juhu, for being here, and thank you, Noir. I will see you, inshallah, next time. I don't think I can go to the chat only because my face is not moving. But okay, thank you for tolerating some of the issues, and I'm just gonna end the stream because I gotta run. Okay, thanks. Bye. Oh yeah, I could do that. Yeah, definitely. I'll raid Nep, but without me being there, if that's possible. Let me see if I can copy and paste quickly and then just run away. All right. I'm gonna press raid now in 5, 4, 3, 2,